Welcome to Coruzant Technologies, home of the Digital Executive Podcast.
Welcome to the Digital Executive. Today's guest is Ash Finnegan. As Conga's Digital Transformation Officer, Ash Finnegan works directly with customers and partners on their transformation programs. With over 20 years of experience in the digital space, she works with sales and marketing teams on the positioning of the Conga suite, as well as looking at Conga's own internal operational processes to see where and how she can improve the use of the company's own technology. Previously Director of Operations at Smart Focus, one of Conga's customers, Ash joined the senior leadership team after collaborating on a transformation project. Preferring a hands-on approach, Ash's passion is to tackle a problem from the customer's perspective and apply technical solutions to them, identifying and removing operational roadblocks, aiding corporate growth, and increasing customers' profitability. Well, good afternoon, Ash. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Brian. It's great to be here.
Awesome. I appreciate you jumping on and getting to spend a little bit of time with you before the podcast. And that's always great. And I appreciate your background, what you've done in your career. And now we're going to jump into the questions so we can get your story out to our global audience. So Ash, you've got quite the career as head of marketing, director of operations, and now the digital transformation officer at Conga. Could you share with our audience the secret to your career growth and what inspires you?
Yeah, I was definitely a person who learned on the job. My career started 20 years ago, and I was the girl taking notes in a senior leadership meeting that covered technology and business growth. So it's definitely been a journey. And kind of the thing that really inspires me is the kind of whole vision and the business outcomes and the power of technology to drive business outcomes. The secret, I would say, is a curious mind. I don't see silos. I see the power of the business, the user, the technology, and how it all needs to fit together. So kind of always in every job I've been in, I've always worked across multiple departments to understand my role, but also the role of others and how it comes together. And the thing that really inspires me is the outcome. You know, there's nothing better than working with a group of people that have expertise, but the expertise needs to complement. And when there's common goals and shared learning, you just want to keep getting better. So for me, it's all about the no silos, business outcomes, the power of technology, and how it all needs to fit together is what really inspires me and excites me.
That's awesome. I appreciate that. And I love to hear everybody's story. You know, they're all unique, but having, going from, like you said, taking notes in executive meeting and moving your career into that same space you were 20 years ago, but on the flip side. So I love that. So Ash, companies globally are spending trillions of dollars annually on digital transformation, right? It's a big buzzword, as you know. So why is digital transformation still failing?
I spend the majority of my time working with organizations on their transformation, and there is always the common kind of failings, what they do. I think businesses often start out and they either start out looking at, I've seen a demo, this technology can do this and it could solve these problems, which is dangerous. The other part is that, that they start off with their business goals, then see the demo and kind of lose focus on why they started their transformation. And for me, a lot of things is also then people get confused on why they're trying to do this transformation. So I think they can lose focus because the technology's moved on and can do so much. And it's about them understanding the maturity of where their business is. One of the things I've created at Conga is the whole maturity model assessment. And this is all about analyzing a business on what they're trying to achieve with now and where they want to get to, and then how they look at technology to achieve today's outcomes that put them on the path of where they want to get to, and how to take people on that journey. And I think the biggest failing is that it's in the planning, bringing people on the journey and understanding what they're going to get in phase one. I remember my first transformation project when I was leading it. One of the things we looked at was when I saw the demo, I thought I was going to get so many of these features in phase one, and the reality was just very different. So I think it's about understanding where your business is and where it needs to get to and doing it in a phased approach. And a lot of businesses don't do this because it does take experience to keep focus and make sure you're driving the business outcomes and not just getting excited about technology.
That's awesome. And, there's a lot of conversations and even some controversy over digital transformation these days. And you're absolutely right. You have to be communicative and bring people along. It's a journey, not just hey, we're going to flip a light switch and everything's going to be transformed. So definitely appreciate your insights on that. So Ash, let's talk a little bit about technology. That's our platform here. Are you leveraging any new or emerging technologies in your tech stack? And if not, maybe anything you might be able to share with us today?
I think the biggest thing I'm finding now working on many transformation projects is all about where customers are very much focused on creating this 360 view of their customer, to be a data-driven business, the power of AI. And we're definitely spending a lot of time on, looking at, AI. What does it mean to businesses? What data and reporting and insights is needed to become a data-driven business? But a lot of this takes people back to what we originally talked about around, utilizing technology effectively across all teams. And, for me, the biggest kind of things we're looking at right now is, yes, they want the business outcomes, they want the reporting. But one of the biggest components around that is integration and how different technology stacks kind of interact and connect with each other, and how you pass information from one system to the next, ensuring that you're keeping your teams aligned, the data clear to get that reporting. So for me, I think a lot of our kind of focus right now is kind of creating, better system integration, automating more processes so people are spending more time keeping data within the system, to then turning that information into intelligence and insights and machine learning and AI. And to me, they're the big things that people are talking about, but it's not about the buzzwords, as you said, around transformation. There's so many buzzwords. It's all about how do you get the information in systems? How do you get users using the system so the information is all within the system? How are you going to connect these systems? And then how do you turn that data into insights, intelligence, and then AI can play a role. So I think around the innovation piece, it really is more about getting the technology to work more seamlessly together, making businesses and teams work more seamlessly, and take people on the path to actually becoming a data-driven business. And I think that's a lot of focus where we are right now, because that's where customers are. How do we use technology to drive data to give us better forecasting, better insight, better trend analysis, understand how to connect with customers better. And that's where our real focus for us right now is. And it's because that's exactly what our customers are trying to do. They don't want to get caught up in the word digital transformation or AI. And, they want to what does it mean for my business? And how do I get on the road to becoming a data-driven business? So that's where a lot of our focus is right now.
Thank you for sharing, Ash. I appreciate that. And, if people, and I know there are more and more companies that are leveraging and hiring digital transformation officers like yourself, but we need more people like you to help get the word out there of what really digital transformation is. So thanks for sharing that. And Ash, last question, our audience wants to know a little bit more about Ash Finnegan. Could you share something from your career experience that might be helpful for those looking to grow their career in tech or leadership?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, and it has been a journey, as I said, I often talk about my career at the start when, I started out, as like I said, the girl that was kind of taking the notes, and the curious mind was really, really there, understanding all the different components in a business and how it all needs to come together, I think is vitally important. Technology on its own is fantastic. Business strategy on its own is fantastic, but they don't work unless they come together. So for me, understanding the outputs that you want is really, really important. And if anyone kind of wants to get into this, is try to understand everything. Try to work cross-functionally. Try to get in on other meetings that maybe you're not supposed to be in. And then even if it means taking the notes, I would definitely recommend. The biggest learning for me in my 20 years, my behavior never changed, was always around wanting to understand the role of every person and how it all comes together. And especially with transformation, it's all about mindset. I always say, try to base your decisions on not your current situation. Base your decisions on where you want to be. Even if it's a small step, at least it's a step in the right direction of where you want to go. Try not to solve use cases. So I'm just solving this problem. I'm going to build it in a silo. I'm going to fix it. make sure that you always stand back and look at the wider picture. And does this solve a problem for the business, and take the whole business towards that vision of where you want to be? So yeah, I think it's having a mindset that's always focused on solving for today, but always keeping an eye on what the future is. And that's in your career as well. When I look at it and say, when I wanted to talk, I was more in love with the marketing side, and actually then fell in love with the technology side. If I didn't put myself in those meetings or put myself around those people that I could just learn from, and it wasn't my comfort zone, I wouldn't have fallen in love with something else. I didn't end up, wanting just to do marketing. I fell in love with technology. I built my own SaaS platform. I didn't separate what I wanted to build a SaaS platform from the business problems I want to achieve. So for me, curious mind, mix around positive people that want to do great things. Be someone that's willing to share knowledge, but also be willing to take it from somebody else as well. So yeah, I think just fall in love with the business as a whole, get involved in many different meetings as you can. And yeah, just be willing to roll up your sleeve and work at every level, regardless of whether you're a leader or not.
I love that. Love the positive energy, and I love your insights on what others could do to advance their career and jump in. So thanks again, Ash. I appreciate it. And Ash, it was a pleasure having you on today. I look forward to speaking with you real soon.
Yeah, Brian, it's been fantastic to talk to you. And yeah, I hope to catch up again soon.
Bye for now.